the stripe will be Chris Matthews on the inside of the front row with Daniel Wesson, the bullet in his hip pocket. As they get up to speed, good start for Matthews. He is going to beat Wesson into the corner.
Matthews guards the inside lane. Wesson up on the wheel. They go down the back straightaway. Wesson's got big ponies. That's horsepower beneath the hood. He quickly moves to the front of the field, but it is still Chris Matthews who's not letting him get far out of his sight. And Joey Farino making his presence known already, Matt, up to the third spot. And keep your eyes on the DiMatteo car.
That is car number 6, and it usually saves its best moves for late in the race. But right now, he is trying to get underneath George DeSera in car number 38, and he is going to pull it off. So a quick race car right now for Corey DiMatteo. He is in the top 5.
No question about it. Nasura is right there with him. Brett the Jet Gagne also making his presence known. Gagne, that white number 81 car, the champion spark plug machine, setting back among the top 7 cars. Meanwhile, Jay Goff, Plucker, all working their magic further back. David Arute, Charland, and here comes Gagne to move to the inside of Nasura, Matt. It just doesn't work.
He's trying every location he knows. Inside, then he wandered to the outside. Now he is mounting up an attack, heading into turn number 3. It is still Dan Wesson out in front, but not very far away is Chris Matthews. And we have a good battle a little deeper in the field as Keith Caruso is holding off Wesley Trucker.
Well, that's been happening. Meanwhile, up front, Nasura got on the brakes hard.
That was a pretty good save right there because it looked like Nasura might have been headed to the wall.
Certainly did. Back to the front pack of cars, working his magic, DiMatteo, the number 6 car. All over Glenn Griswold. Caution flag is out. In turn number 4, just underneath the VIP towers, it is the number
white checker restart against Glenn Griswold. As Glenn Griswold led most of that race, Gagne got to jump at the end. I know Tunnel Road because I got stuck in that tunnel a couple of times, so I'm well familiar with that.
So we're doubled back up and ready to get back at it again. Keep your eyes also on Keith Caruso. He turned some heads during our opening event here this season. And Keith Caruso, part of the Caruso racing family. Legendary Dave Caruso, who was a standout in pro stock racing, as well as in the modifieds at the old Riverside Park Speedway.
Caruso finished second to Corey DiMatteo.
Here's the green. And again, Daniel Wesson has a little extra giddy up, but here comes Joey Farino, and not far out of his side, Corey DiMatteo. Down low.
Scalding hot on the inside is DiMatteo, as he is able to laser beam his way right underneath Joey Farino. So that is a battle. Farino has second, but latched onto the back bumper, close enough to do chin-ups on the spoiler, is Corey DiMatteo.
Corey DiMatteo has learned his lessons quickly, and he's learned them well. He'll go to the outside of Joey Farino. There's Brett the Jet right there in the contend, and it is the number 38 machine of George DeSera, also contending among the top 5s. Further back, still a lot of good racing, but look at the bid for second, Matt.
And to the outside goes Corey DiMatteo, trying to make a very daring move. Let's see what happens when they strut across the stripe. It's Corey DiMatteo in second place.
Joey Farino, Mr. Inside, tries to stay glued to the bottom, and all of a sudden, Brett the Jet Gagne makes his presence known in the upper lane. Brett the Jet puts the Champions machine up to the 3rd spot. They bing and they bang off turn number 4, rubbing rails, but they're still in a dogfight battle for seconds.
Now we have another dogfight battle for 4th, as George DeSera is hanging out on the back bumper of the Joey Farino car, and moving up after dropping off the pace a couple of laps ago is Chris Matthew. He is back to becoming a contender. Glenn Griswold right behind him.
You know, last time we were here, the DiMatteo star was following the Wesson kid in practice, trying to get a pattern. Now, a bid for the lead, inside lane. There he goes, showing it was no fluke. Car number 6 has moved to the front of the class. Corey DiMatteo comes from 8th to take over the lead. But here comes Brett Gagne, and we've got Joey Farino spinning. Bottom of turn 2.
2 cars in the dirt, 3 cars in the dirt.
Wesson on this restart because that race car has a lot of horsepower beneath the hood, and we've seen it be exceptionally strong on every start so far tonight. But never underestimate Corey DiMatteo on the inside. And then Brett Gagne, who's as smooth as glass coming to the front. And Chris Matthews on that all-time win list. Looking good, too, to the outside of row number 2. Long way to go, Matt.
I think the cobwebs are gone on Chris Matthews' fire suit, and he is ready to go. And we are ready to go. Who will get the jump? As they pounce across the line, it's dead even between DiMatteo and Wesson.
Bottom of turn number 1, and DiMatteo has it by inches, but watch Wesson with plenty of horsepower. Moves alongside. Wesson's out in front by a wheel. DiMatteo, they rub rails. That's why they call them rub rails. As they come to the stripe, it was Wesson by inches that time by.
Leading by the width of a credit card, but DiMatteo strikes back, turn 2. DiMatteo leading by a sliver as they head into the 3rd corner.
There's no question about it, and now Brett the Jet is moving in, making it a 3-car Donnybrook for the lead, but it's DiMatteo this time as he wears out Wesson a little bit, forcing him to run hard in the upper groove. Here comes Brett the Jet. He's in a zone of his own. He's going to move in. 3 cars contending for the same airspace, Matt, in turn 3.
David Arute has made a resurgence. He is running 5th, 1 notch ahead of Glenn Corner Jr. They scramble into the corner. It is still DiMatteo. The top 3 cars can fit inside a birdcage.
Keep your eyes on David Arute. He is coming on like gangbusters. He moves underneath the Matthews machine. All of a sudden, here comes another big factor here, Glenn Corner, with that number 27 cars. 16 of 20.
It looks like he's been in this division his whole career. As he tries to take a spot away from David Arute, Arute decides to turn up the volume against Chris Matthews. Here comes Daniel Wesson, a little blacksmith action to the back bumper of the DiMatteo car.
Off the turn, meanwhile, working his magic, here comes David Arute to try to take over the 4th spot. David Arute comes in hard off turn number 2, and David Arute is up to the 4th spot. Meanwhile, back to the front of the class. DiMatteo is still the leader. Wesson is still 2nd. Gagne is still 3rd, and now David Arute is broken away, but the tail that wags the dog there is Glenn Corner with that number 27 car.
Will Wesson take another shot? Here he comes down low, holding his ground as DiMatteo. He gets 1 bump, he gets 2 bumps, but DiMatteo holds his grip on 1st place on the white flag lap. It's a shootout between DiMatteo and Wesson and Brett Gagne.
Down off turn number 2. Leader of the pack is DiMatteo. Scramble down into turn number 1. Deep into turn number 3 as they work their magic back to the stripe. Checkered flag is about to come out, and it does. DiMatteo will take down the win. Daniel Wesson will finish in 2nd. Brett Gagne for 3rd. David Arute for 4. And Glenn Corner, SK Light Division.
And that was a great battle. What a night so far. As we have had 3 barn burners, and that was a classic in the SK Lights as a war will between DiMatteo and Daniel Wesson, won by DiMatteo, and Brett Gagne, even though he didn't win the race, he really made his presence felt.
Let's celebrate. There's a party going on right here. A celebration.
So Corey DiMatteo is out of the car, and we are ready to head to Napa Victory Lane. The call before you dig hat is on, and we we are going to send it to John Gates.
Okay, Matt, thank you very much. And elated Corey DiMatteo, 2 in a row, man. First of all, you get the shower, then the victory kiss. What a drive in the number 6 car tonight.
Yeah, I definitely owe the 92 one there. I thought it was clear a couple times, and I wasn't. I'm still pretty new at this. I just got so many people to thank. Everyone who was here with me today, Marcus, Eric, my mother, my father, Keith for helping with the setup, my girlfriend Kyla, my mom for filming, Joey Chernillo for helping in the shop. Just, it means the world for me to come here every week and compete like this.
Corey, coming up from the Legend cars, man, how different is this?
This is a lot easier than Legend cars. The Legend cars have no tire, they're treaded tires. They just spin the tires every time you put the throttle down. That taught me a lot of car control, and I think it's playing dividends to nights like tonight.
How about some sponsors on this beautiful number 6 car?
I definitely got to thank Island Cove Marina, Manafort Brothers, DiMatteo Construction, Advanced Reprographics, Sign Pro, Superior Refurbishing. I'm probably missing a lot, man. There's a lot of sponsors on the car, but everyone gets me here every week, and it means the world. And Whitell Communications for the radios. Like I said, I'm probably missing a ton more people, but it is what it is.
There he is, man. Corey DiMatteo, 2 in a row in our NASCAR SK Light Modifieds. Let's go to Darren Ayotte to talk to our next 2 drivers on the podium.
He's in the second position, but I can see the disappointment on your face. You told me you had a winning race car, but just could not hold off Corey DiMatteo. What did he have that this 92 car did not at the end?
When I saw him in my rearview mirror, I think I started overdriving the cars. It got in my head, and he got by me, and then just good racing up front, wasn't able to get by him.
Overall, though, anything you can learn from this race that you can take into next week to try and get into victory lane?
You just gotta learn your competitors. It's still the beginning of the season. It's got some new guys, and take this, keep it in the back of our head, and move on next week.
But still, second place, a great finish. Who do you want to thank for this podium finish?
Well, all my crew and sponsors, they help out a lot, and it means a lot. I really appreciate all the fans coming out too. 811, good night for late models. So thanks everyone.
We've had some great racing. Congratulations, Daniel Wesson, second place in the SK Lights. But now we'll bring in a new face here at Stafford Speedway. Third place for Brett Gagne. You might have heard his name at the Waterford Speed Bowl, but you're here at Stafford, getting on the podium. This is a very convincing, a must performance for this team finishing in third.
Yeah, the opener here, we pretty much junked the car, so I got to give it to my crew guys, man. They put hours and hours into this car, and we worked late nights. We were actually ready for last Friday. We got rained out, but I got the best crew in the world, so what can you say?
Anyone you want to thank besides the crew for this podium finish?
Well, first off, Champion Spark Plugs coming on board this year, Start Finish Motorsports, Johnny's Mud Runs, and Ben Dodge for helping us out a little bit too.
That's the podium for the SK Lights division. And Ben, Matt, we've had some great racing so far. Much of what we expected for the first Friday night of action here at Stafford.